مباريات اليوم ستتضمن 3 جولات، كل منها 3 دقائق تفصلها دقيقة استراحة. ستحسب النقاط عند ملامسة القفاز لمنطقة فوق الوسط حسب تقدير الحكام.
Nothing you can do if you believe in you. Just give it all you got, like it's your only shot.
who are looking to make history in Doha by winning a third World Championship gold, feat only previously achieved by the great Teofilo Stevenson. Championships were unveiled in spectacular fashion, with an unforgettable ceremony, so also with 69 athletes teams by AIBA. President Federation is Ali Al-Kazim, inspiring young Filipino light flyweight Rogan Lano to a well-earned bronze medal. 2 days later, it was the turn of the hero of Olympic boxing to grace the competition. Olympic silver medalist Amir Khan lent his support to a new heads-up campaign launched by AIBA, helping young boxers and nationally trained After 7 days, 12 sessions of Olympic boxing action, one bout now stands at 21 and over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening event is a 56-kilogram Bantamweight bronze bout for Olympic qualification.
الفرق الأحمر من الهند
In the ring corner, representing India, Shiva Thapa.
الفرق الأزرق من بيلاروسيا
In the blue corner, representing Belarus, Dmitry Asanov.
ستعرض أسماء القضاة لهذه المباراة مباشرة على لوحة النتائج.
The judges are now displayed on the scoreboard.
في الركن الأحمر من الهند
In the ring corner, the 2015 Asian Federation bronze medalist, ranked number 7 in the world, and representing India, Shiva Thapa.
في الركن الأزرق من بيلاروسيا
In the blue corner, a 2015 national champion and the 2015 European Games silver medalist, representing Belarus, Dmitry Asanov.
حكم وسط المباراة من كولومبيا
The referee for this bout from Colombia, Armando Carmelo Alvarado.
Please, listen. Head up. Head up, please. No only. No head, bro. Okay. Thank you. Good luck. Box. Head up. Yeah, bro. Head up, bro. Break! Go! Break! Break! Head up. Box!
already a national champion at the tender age of 19, Asano. One of his real skills, it became more difficult for him to connect and plant his technique onto his opponents the further he got through the competition. He really stood out in the early stages.
Yeah, he did, and he had boxers who were made for him stylistically early on, and he looked fantastic, and he's looked good throughout, but early on he really stood out to me. But Tapper now he's trying to step in, get his shots off and step out of range, and it's a good tactic to employ against Asano, who's slightly taller and taking the centre of the ring.
Tapper, the only remaining boxer of 6 that came to these championships from India. He's progressed the most. Bronze medalist, another one in the bank for him in what's been a good year, and he just landed a couple of decent punches in that series. He's got the looser style of the pair.
He has a little bit more relaxed than Asano.
Asano trying to press. That little half step back has been one of the cuter techniques that is employed through the competition.
Yeah, it's working well in each contest, but
walked onto a jab there, didn't he?
He did, yeah, and Tapper's got quick feet of his own, so again, it's a matter of the boxers cancelling each other out a little lot at this stage. And that was another difficult one to score, but I'd edge towards Tapper myself in that round.
Yeah, Tapper landed a couple of eye-catching punches, but in some very, very close-scoring contests. And it's Asano who's been given the vote of confidence, according to the judges, on all scorecards. There you see the heads coming together somewhat. The new campaign from AIBA throughout these championships was launched. That's the new Heads Up campaign, which is doing a series of lectures and workshops with referees and coaches involving the boxers themselves, so that in the new championship era without head guards, the boxers are coming forward in a style that is not going to engender cuts, and by and large it's been successful. We've only had a couple of cuts in the competition all told, and only one contest, and that was Muhammad Ali of Britain, stopped because of it.
Yeah, I've been fortunate really. Early on I got the feeling it was going to be a big problem, but we've been pretty lucky.
Here we go then, into the second. Tapper won't necessarily be aware that he's behind on all 3 scorecards, and so quickly a contest can get away from you before it's even really got into full flow.
That's what Tapper needs to do, what he's just done then. He needs to be quick on the attack, on his feet, explosive, get into range, fire his shots off and then get back out of range, and it just worked well for him just a moment ago.
I must admit, that cut we were talking about of Ali's, when we were watching it live that night, David, I didn't think it was that bad a cut. We bumped into his dad last night, didn't we? And he showed us a picture on his phone. It was a real deep gash right along his eyelid.
So unlucky as well. He was performing so well in that first round, Ali, and he's disappointed, but he can come again.
You see the heads came close together there, but managed to avoid contact, both landing a flurry of punches. The boxer, of course, that progressed at the expense of Ali is, of course, in action in the final as well, and Mamashzada, who scored a spectacular knockout in the semi-finals. That was a terrific little short left hook from Asano.
Great shot, and he was struggling to get his shots off so far in this round, Asano. He was trying to time that one as Tapper's been advancing, and he was punching shadows a lot of the time, but he walked onto that one, Tapper.
Real difference in cultures and crowds here at these championships as well. The Irish contingent supporting Conlon tonight, and Joe Ward there in the house in full voice earlier on. You will hear them, make no mistaking. There was about 40 of them earlier. I think it's closer to 60 or 70 now, and I suspect there'll be even more come Conlon time as he chases history a little later on. Asano has landed the punch of the round so far. There's another short left hook from the Belarusian.
Yeah, it seemed to turn the tide a little bit, that punch, because before that I didn't see Asenau land a clean shot. That was a good left hook from Tapper. Tapper, we know we can attack in bursts, and we know we can sustain attack from the semi-final, the quarter-final performance that we've seen. He's landed a good right hand again there, Tapper, but good return from Asenau. It's a matter of what the judges are going to prefer in this round, I think.
A couple of real eye-catching left hooks from Asenau. One in particular, beautifully positioned and placed by the young Belarusian. And if he won the first round, I'd be surprised if he takes the second as well.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, Tapper, he stuck to instructions in this one, which is to stay out of distance from Asenau. Don't go rushing in, because he is a good counter puncher and a good back foot boxer, but he may have to abandon those tactics in this last round if he feels he's behind, and that's going to make for some entertaining exchanges, because we know he can sustain the attacks.
And you saw there, they both attempted to land left hooks at the same time, and that's super slow-mo, and it was Asenau who scored with the eye-catching shot.
It was a good solid jab there by Tapper, good way to start the round, and you can use that as a tool to back Asenau into the ropes and then getting his own shots off.
Tapper scored with that spectacular left hook knockout early on in the competition. He's going to need more of the same here if he's to get to Rio next summer.
Yeah, we can see straight away Tapper done what I guessed he would, and that was to go straight on the attack. He's abandoned that circling the ring and trying to fire him an outward sharp feet. He knows he's just going to have to go for broke now.
Tapper trying to apply the pressure, trying to cut down the ring.
What we've seen from Asenau throughout, though, he does have good ring craft. He moves his feet well, he knows when to move, in which direction on the back foot. So
nice to see him on the back, but generally we've seen him just steadily coming forward, trying to draw leads from his opponent, but this is different again from him.
Yeah, whenever he has had to go on the back foot, he seemed to have dealt with it well, but this is a different proposition, because this is completely different to Michael Conlon or the Cuban opponent he boxed. This is going to be pressure now for the next 90 seconds.
And we know Tapper can punch. So much on the line here. Opportunities to get to Rio next summer are becoming fewer and far between, thinner on the ground. There's going to be 3 opportunities, I think, next season. One of them early in 2016 for WSP and pro boxers. There will be one final Olympic qualifying tournament as well, but everyone you miss out on, the pressure just increases.
Yeah, it will. It'll gradually get more intense as the tournaments progress. The opportunities become more limited, but still, ideally, you want to go through it as early as possible, don't you? So both of these boxers will be desperate to go through.
I suppose maybe the competition gets a little thinner, as those that have already qualified don't necessarily feel they want to take part, unless...
Yeah, well, theoretically, yeah, but, you know, some boxers get bad draws in the first bout and have to go to the next one, or they might be on the wrong end of a decision. So, I mean, theoretically, yeah, but it mightn't be the case at some weights.
There's a nice left hand from Shiva Tapper. By and large, Asenau's managed to stay out of danger, keep himself out of trouble, keep his nose ahead on the scorecards, and then he dances out of range, and Tapper cannot close him down. He's on his bike, and Asenau could well be on his way to the summer showpiece next year.
Yeah, I think Asenau is going to be the one who gets his hand raised. Boxed well from round 2 onwards for me. Gave the first to Tapper, and Tapper was on the front foot. The judges may give him that round if they prefer to come forward with aggression. He landed a great left hook there, Tapper. But because Asanow constantly moving his feet, couldn't set his feet to get the combinations off Tapper.
Here we go then, with the confirmation and the decision.
الفائز بالمباراة الأولى
The winner on points and automatic Olympic qualifier from the blue corner, representing
If you wondered what it means to an athlete and to a young boxer to get to an Olympic Games, there's your answer in the reaction and on the face and in the big smile of 19-year-old Dimitri Asanow. He's got a bronze medal, he's also going to Rio. Well, Tapper did manage to come back with that late flourish, but the damage was done early on. The first round could have gone either way, so often the case. Thin, tight margins, 29-28 on the scorecards. Asanow is on his way.
He's on his way, and again, massive relief for that young man. You could see the delight in his face when his arm was raised, and we did single him out early on in the tournament as someone we expected to get the ticket to Rio, although we did have a bit of luck on the way. But sometimes you need a bit of luck, and you've got to embrace it, and that's what he's done.
Here the boxer's getting ready for our next. Irish eyes full of hope, and the big Irish crowd expectant as that man. Excellent skills he's got, Michael O'Reilly, up against the strong, rugged Hassan Abdin. Necessarily be any sort of pushover at all. Abdin, he was quite highly ranked, and he wasn't blown away by Arlen Lopez in the semi-finals as I suspected he might be. He wasn't outclassed in that.
No, he was competitive throughout, and you know, he's rugged, he's stubborn. O'Reilly is a great mover on his feet, like a lot of the Irish boxers. Nicks a point here and there. So Abdin's going to have to literally just push O'Reilly onto the ropes and go to work, but it's easier said than done. O'Reilly backpedals well, and he throws his shots from unorthodox angles as well. Looking forward to this one.
Hassan Abdin, who's got an excellent record through these championships. He came unstuck at the hands of Arlen Lopez, the multi-talented Cuban, but he wasn't disgraced in that, and he previously beat the #4 ranked Vikas in the previous rounds. Here's Michael O'Reilly, and what a fantastic reception he's getting. What a fantastic competition he's had so far. He went out at the hands of one of the boxers in the championships, Bektemir Melikuziev, who's in the final at middleweight. But O'Reilly beat Alan Kanuli, the #2 seed in the previous round, and that's an outstanding scalp to have on his record, and he definitely has the ability, the skills and the tools for the job to win this one.
Yeah, it's in his own hands. I think he's the better boxer, and it's up to him to go out and perform tonight. But yeah, he's had some fantastic results in this tournament, and he's been involved in some good battles as well. The one against the Australian Lewis stood out for me, a real tear up, and he's come through that one.
And there are the cheers for Michael O'Reilly. Already medalist this year already at Sofia, where he got a silver. Baku, it was gold. Here is bronze in the World Championships. That's an outstanding result for him. Could it get better still? Can he make those Irish fans happier yet, with confidence still to come?
Great support, hasn't he? ringside as well.
I wondered against Melikuziev in the semi-finals if he was just a little tight-legged, if maybe the competition was starting to get to him in terms of the effort. He put so much into that performance against Alim Kanuli in what was a battle of wits and speed. He couldn't stay away from the young southpaw from Uzbekistan. He's got a style in front of him that theoretically should be tailor-made for him.
Yeah, styles make fights, and you'd expect it to be, but Abdin is yet to start throwing his shots, and O'Reilly's first to the punch so far this round.
Abdin, who's been to the quarterfinals of an Olympic Games, actually the same one that David picked up a bronze in back in Beijing. He's got so much experience, and we saw it against Lopez in the semi-finals. He is one hard, tough man.
Rugged, tough man, and what he's just done there, Abdin, is probably his best chance of landing his punches, and that's letting his own shots go as O'Reilly commits with his punches.
O'Reilly let two go, and he tried to counter with the one right hand.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to beat O'Reilly to the punch first off. I think he's going to have to wait till O'Reilly's in mid-combination.
There is a glimpse of what O'Reilly's been so good at in these championships. A right to the body and then dancing out of range. Quick-witted and fleet-footed.
Yeah. If Abdin just holds that tight guard and follows O'Reilly down the ring, then he hasn't got a very good chance of winning at all. Like I've just said, when O'Reilly's throwing them threes and fours, Abdin needs to whip one or two over the top.
Oh, he took a left hand there, the Irishman. See, he can switch as well from southpaw to orthodox throughout these rounds.
Yeah, really good on his feet, isn't he? Just moves side to side, gets himself out of trouble with them feet. Look at that there, just stepping out of range from Abdin. The slower feet.
Can't tell you how good a performance that, in a very, very tight quarter-final when the reigning world champion, the southpaw Alim Kanuli, it was paper thin between the pair of them. To come out on top in that particular bout against that kind of opponent, one of the best results of his championship and his career today.
Yeah, great performance.
There he is, in and out of range again, O'Reilly. Nice jab. It's been a good round for the Irishman.
It has been a good round, and Abdin's waiting for O'Reilly to finish throwing his punches and then firing back with his own, and when he does that, O'Reilly's feet, he's half a metre away already, and he's nowhere near him. Like I said, he's literally going to have to throw punch for punch with O'Reilly.
There you see 3 punches into range and then away and gone again before Abdin had a chance to remove the gloves from the defensive posture round his face. I don't know if the graphic came up, but I think Abdin's been given the round on all 3 scorecards, which is a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise for me. I mean, obviously these judges of the nature where they prefer to come forward boxer, but Abdin hasn't thrown any punches for me. He's getting to work now, but O'Reilly outpunched him 2 for 1.
At times 3 for 1, as we saw in that slow motion highlight. He's back on his feet, back to his boxing. O'Reilly, who's some 7 years younger than the Egyptian. Abdin turns 30 in just a few weeks' time. So you're going to have an early Bertie present here in the shape of Olympic qualification.
Coming up from different angles with his shots there, O'Reilly, but as he done it, he left his chin hanging out, and he just caught a right hand from Abdin then. Abdin, though he isn't doing much, his defence is tight, but he's not doing enough offensively for me to take the rounds. He's just happy to take them on the gloves, and that's it.
Again, 4 or 5 punches from O'Reilly, many of them on the gloves. There he goes again and out of range.
Good counter from O'Reilly to the body. Just a little side step, dropped the shoulder and fired it in.
Head up, guys. Watch
Nice.
your head up.
A couple of body shots from the pair of them. A reminder from the referee to keep the heads up. That's all part of the new heads up campaign from AIBA as they both land punches.
One day, guys.
Lovely
Watch your
shot
head
from
up.
O'Reilly. Just dipped that front shoulder,
Go
brought
on,
the
go
left
on, go on.
uppercut out of the line of vision of Abden, and it just surprised him and lifted his head up. Great scoring shot. Hopefully the judges will have taken note of that one.
More aggressive though after this one. Gum shield flies out the air. Is that O'Reilly's? Yes.
Landed a good left hook there, O'Reilly, in that exchange.
Placed by Billy Walsh as a quick word of encouragement to O'Reilly. Seems to have done even better in this round with punches and landing than he did in the first.
Stop, stop.
O'Reilly's
Go on,
trying to
fine
feint
side, go on.
to draw a lead from Abden, but he's not really reacting to the feints.
There was a good right hand, short right hand there from the Egyptian. Has his own support with the drums and black and red and white flags over on the far side.
Stop. Blue.
It's at the final minute then. How are the judges seeing this one? Terrific, outstanding work from O'Reilly.
Yeah, that was good work. Again, just dipping that right shoulder, firing that right hook into the body. Something he's been working on in the gym because he does it so naturally.
I think he had to go through 5 fights when he won it back early on in the year, so he's used to the demands of a championship like this. One last effort from the engine, one last push from the legs. It'll all be worthwhile in the morning if he can do it.
Landed a good right hand there. Abden has had his own success. He just landed a couple of good body shots before, but not an outstanding again for me from Abden.
Yeah, they acknowledge each other at the end. A real respectful nod from Hassam Abdin, who secured the first round. Wonder how they saw that second. Yeah, you can see the Irish corner living every moment as you see some of the highlights. That was the 1-2 body shots. Fantastic punch from O'Reilly, and then he was out of range again. There was some terrific stuff in there. Abden landed with a few of his own. And I believe that Abden got it again on all 3 judges' scorecards. I suspect O'Reilly won't be able to believe that when he reflects later on this evening, and at the moment he's going to be reflecting in disappointment.
Great start to the round this way. O'Reilly's throwing his punches in 4 and 5s, just then putting them together really well, and Abden, by the time he's thrown his own counter, O'Reilly is over the other side of the ring with that footwork.
First times we've seen O'Reilly really coming forward, trying to land a body shot. That's been a factor of the championships, hasn't it, David? The number of boxers working effectively to the body has been a pleasant surprise.
It has, it's been good to see. Boxers have been working on it over the last couple of years. O'Reilly's just backed Abden up to the ropes a few moments ago with a good combination, and he wants more of that. If he can back Abden up, then he'll win the round, no problem, although he is chasing the fight at this moment. But Abden seems to be strictly a come forward, let your fighter, and let's see O'Reilly just back him up again, like that, there we go.
Most of those did actually miss. Abden did well to move his head as he was reeling backwards, both landing big punches.
He did, he moved his head well, but he didn't look too comfortable doing it, so encouraging for O'Reilly.
Watch the head, guys, watch your head.
O'Reilly tried to lean away to the side, but still there was a right hand onto the cheek from Abdin. And again.
Abdin is landing some sneaky shots. As O'Reilly's throwing his shots, little right hands over the top that the judges may be taking note of. Good head movement there from O'Reilly. Really is a slick boxer.
Some nice feints from Abdin as we head inside the final minute.
Go hold in, come on.
Irish fans trying to encourage their man.
Just falling in over his front foot a little bit there, O'Reilly. Starting to feel the pace maybe, which is understandable, but it's the final one of the tournament and this is the time to find that extra 5%. O'Reilly, he'll think he's got this though, Alex, to be fair, and I'd understand why he'd think that.
Closing seconds of this one. Medal ceremonies still to come.
Abdin ready to see the round out himself, so he may think he's a worthy winner.
Now that was a close one. I actually think Abdin landed the more eye-catching shots. There was a couple of those sneaky right hands you touched on there. I think that may well have secured in that round anyway, but the damage was done on the scorecards in the first two. First was closer than the second. I thought O'Reilly had the lion's share of the pair off them, but I sense it's going to be Irish disappointment.
Timing his counters well there in that round, Abdin. Still, if I didn't know what the judges had scored the first two rounds, I'd be expecting O'Reilly to go through, well, to go to Rio off the back of that performance. Be interesting to see his reaction.
Well, both think they've done enough, but only one can get to Rio.
The winner on points and automatic Olympic qualifier from the red corner, representing Egypt,
Hassan Abdin it is, who goes to Rio, and just look at the dejection and the disbelief on the face of Michael O'Reilly. It's the Egyptians who are celebrating, and Irish disappointment on a night when they're looking to make a bit of history.
Yeah, O'Reilly, the clear winner of that one for me, and it seems everyone else in the stadium massively disappointing for the Irishman. It'll take a while to get over that, but he's going to have to pick himself up and go again, because he's definitely worthy of a place at an Olympic Games.
He'll have a couple of opportunities again next year, but it's Abdin who has bagged himself a slot at the summer showpiece in 2016. We do have the medal ceremonies coming up a little later on, after the first of our finals, which are going to be next. And you see it is Hassan Abdin who has silenced the Irish contingent here with that performance and that result on the scorecards. Here we go, this little buzz fly of a light fly from Russia up against real talent in the shape of Cuban Johnny Argalagos. That's coming up next, the first of our finals here this evening in Doha. Some of these lighter weight Cubans are uber talented. This guy's just a nuisance. He doesn't stop throwing punches. Sometimes he doesn't look where they're going or whether they're going to land, but he's a nuisance.
He is, and he's been getting told off a little bit with his head as well, I think, earlier on. And so, yeah, it's what we come to expect in the World Championship final, Russia v Cuba.
Vasily Igorov then, the number 4 seed and reigning European champion, one of 3 Russians left in at the final stage. It's a top of the world clash in the World Championship final because the number 3 seed Johannes Argelagos, the youngest on the Cuban squad at the age of 18, they call him the Little Giant. Small in stature, huge in talent and reputation, and the first of the Cubans looking to win a gold medal at these championships. He's grown on me, Argelagos. I've got to say, first round I wasn't too sure. He seemed to just go through the motions. He has got better and better and better. Favoured to win this one.
Yeah, he's improved with each bout, and he's improved as per the opponents in front of him. He's stepped it up accordingly when he's needed to, and this is when we'll see the best of him tonight, I feel.
You look around the face of Igorov, you can see above and around his right eye that there's plenty of sort of bruising there and swelling that is just dying down. Now there's a perfect illustration of the toll on these boxers' bodies as the championship progresses.
Yeah, it's a tough format. Fighting every couple of days, 3 3-minute rounds against top-level opponents. So there is going to be a lot of wear and tear at this stage.
Keep your punches up. Go hit the back of the head. Shake hands.
Mickey Gallagher from Ireland, the man in the middle, Igorov in red, Argelagos in blue. Size and the skill set definitely with the Cuban, but Igorov has got a sort of, well, to an extent, a fan-friendly and maybe a judge-friendly style. He's like, well, they call Argelagos the Little Giant. You could call Igorov the Little Fly because he just keeps coming, throwing punches, swarms opponents with his attack as he starts out in the southpaw position.
Argelagos will be used to having this type of opponent in front of him. It seems to be the Cubans welcome this type of style. They get to use a fantastic footwork they've got, countering off the ropes. Good defence from Argelagos early on.
And actually, this is more composed than we've seen Igorov in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he'll know if he goes rushing in without any thought, then he'll be made to pay by Argelagos. So he's going to have to be a little bit more educated with his pressure, edging in with the feet and trying to use the jab to get into distance, I think.
There you see some of the body work either side. Good jab that from Vasily Igorov.
Yeah, he just switched off there. Argelagos dropped his hands as he came out of range, and Igorov was in there quickly.
He's only 22 years old himself, the Russian. Both of them have got some WSB experience, so they've gone the extra yardage and the stiffness of that blossoming competition, not wasted on the pair. This has been a bright start from Igorov.
Yeah, he's letting the shots go when he's up close. Not many are landing, but the judges will see that he's taking the initiative. Good right to the ball and a right to the head from Argelagos there.
Maybe he's finding his range, starting to get his punches off, warming to the task, the Cuban.
He is, and he's happy to stand still on the ropes and fire back, where you'd expect him to get off to the sides against somebody like Igorov.
Watch the head. Watch the head. Heads up.
Good clean right hand landed by Argelagos then. It's so difficult to catch everything what's happening at these lighter weights because there's so much happening in a short space of time. You have to slow it down sometimes. The speed is unreal.
Compared to his performances against Ladd and the Filipino in the semis and Yankiak in the quarters, this has been much more composed from Igorov.
Oh, this is better from Argelagos in this little spell though. turned Igorov onto the ropes and caught him with 2 or 3 shots.
Yes, he's found his timing, the Cuban. Excellent, stirring finish to the round. After a good start from Vasily Igorov. I think the judges like the work of the Cuban, and the fans from Cuba have been big in number and big in noise as well throughout the championships.
It's been great, the fans. They're all having a dance now as we speak, making it a great atmosphere.
And Argalagos started to work into that as the bout progressed. Maybe he was just having a look at Igorov. Maybe he wasn't allowed to settle into his rhythm, but the footwork and the movement was excellent through the closing minute or so. And he's made a bright start on the scorecards.
Started finding his range, didn't he? And now I think he's going to get better as this goes on.
Lovely body shot that from Igorov. Was it a little low?
Keep the pointed off, okay?
Igorov.
Sorry, Alex. Igorov, he knows one way to fight, and that's to come forward on the attack. Argalagos has a couple of other dimensions to his style, I feel, and although he's happy to go on the back foot now, there'll be moments where he's pushing Igorov back, and that'll spell trouble for the Russian.
And you see referee Vicky Gallagher saying to keep their heads up. The new AIBA, oh, terrific right hand that from Argalagos. New AIBA heads up campaign. Very much being implemented at these championships. The referees have been taking place in seminars and coaching schools alongside the coaches and the boxers themselves. It's all about avoiding cuts and sort of new safe techniques while they're boxing to their full potential. By and large, that's working to almost 100%. Just a few cuts in these championships so far.
Really good from Argalagos. He's landing the cleaner shots. He's getting that right hand off really well. He's just getting his front foot on the outside of Igorov's and firing that right hand right through the middle. And then Igorov's having these little bursts. Argalagos is staying calm and then coming out of them and getting his own work off when Igorov wants to have his little rest.
Oh,
good shot from Igorov.
Keep the hands up.
That was a left hook. Argalagos completely mistimed that.
Hey,
he's got a bit about him though, the Cuban, hasn't he?
Go ahead and go back on the head,
almost
okay?
a bit of arrogance, with confidence about the way he boxes.
Yeah, I like him. You can see he's got total belief in himself, and you can see why he's got that nickname, the Little Giant. He's enjoying it in there now.
hands up. Keep that hand up.
Movements as well from Argalagos, and Igorov's beginning to getting a little bit frustrated now with the Russian.
Both of these men, courtesy of this final performance, have qualified for Rio next summer. Just the top two at light flyweight go to the Summer Olympics. It's gold that's up for grabs now. And it looks like Argalagos is on his way. The Cubans enjoying themselves. They might be enjoying themselves even more with the scorecards very much under the control of Argalagos, who now has destiny in his own hands.
Yeah, another good round that for Argalagos, and we expected him to get more success as the bout went on. Igorov will start to become more and more frustrated, and he'll leave himself open for shots like that.
I suspect concentration, the message. in
He
that
really is
Cuban
only
corner.
young as well, isn't he, Alex? He's got like a baby face. He's got a big future ahead of him.
Very much so. Only 18, 4 years younger than Vasily Igorov in the red, as they go at it in the final round with gold up for grabs.
Igorov's going to have a good little go for the first minute of the round, I think. Argalagos is going to have to keep tight, be a little bit cute with his defence, and then I think the fire will burn out a little bit from the Russian, and then you'll see the better work from Argalagos.
It's like an electric jack in the box, this Cuban. Moves away to one side, then he darts back in with a counter punch.
He's a class act, isn't he? He has got better as the tournament's gone on.
Oh!
Yeah, that was...
There's a count.
Well,
Whoa!
it was.
Well, suddenly, it's an 8 count. He lost his balance. There were 2 punches landed there from Igorov. And suddenly Igorov's been handed a lifeline.
Yeah, big opportunity now for the Russian. He was off balance a little bit, but it was a legitimate knockdown. Getting some better shots off now, Igorov, as well. This is interesting.
Well,
yeah,
nice
good
shot
left hand again. Just goes to show, even at the lighter weights, nothing is certain. One shot can change the outcome of especially a round, but the fight now could be in the balance.
there's another right hand, clips Argalagos. And Igorov has got the bit between his teeth. Back comes Argalagos.
Switched to southpaw and landed the left hand.
I must admit, David, of all the bouts, and this is, I think this is the 227th of the championship that we've covered. Most of them, when there's been an advantage on the scorecards, there's been maybe a bit of a reaction, but there hasn't been this sort of response to suddenly turn a fight around and give the fighter or boxer who's behind on the scorecards any chance of emerging with a victory. Igorov has got that prospect now. He's got the possibility.
Yeah. It's a great chance for him to pull it back.
Hey, keep the head up, okay? Box.
Argalagos, when he's switching or when he's moving away, he does square up at times, and that's what happened when he went over.
Nearly went into another left hand there from Igorov. And Igorov's got a fantastic engine. He does not stop throwing punches. He won all but one of his bouts in the WSB, and that was the #1 seed, the Mexican Velasquez, who went out early to Latin, the Filipino, on the day that Manny Pacquiao came to Doha. That bout is over, but it has gone right down to the wire.
It's going to be interesting. Igorov, that was his best round, with or without the knockdown. You know, I think he'd have won that round anyway without that knockdown. So I don't know how it's going to lead the scores.
Maybe a case of, and I don't think there's not been one bout in the championship so far where we've had to go to the additional judges. There are 5 judges ringside. 3 of them are chosen before the bout starts to score the contest. The other 2 continue to score. They've not been necessary in any bout so far. Potentially they could be called into action here.
I think they may be.
الفائز بهذه المباراة
The winner on points and 49-kilogram light flyweight world champion from the blue corner, representing Cuba.
Argalagos hangs on to it by a whisker, despite a third-round scare. The young Cuban, the youngest member of the team, is a World Championship gold medalist. Well, you can see what it means to him. He's almost overcome with emotion and delight. Igorov can't quite believe it. He's left the ring, but he's sticking around. He's sitting back. He's put just about everything into it. His head in his hands, just, well, 20, 30 yards away from us, David. And the frustration, the disappointment, the weeks and weeks of work, the effort he put into that last 3 minutes to get a knockdown, to give himself an opportunity on the scorecards, it wasn't quite enough.
No, I don't think it was enough. All told, I think the winner was worthy from Cuba, and he's come straight out of the youth ranks and gone straight into being a senior world champion.
The significance about that on the scorecards, the last round was given as a 10-9 round only to Igorov, despite the fact that he got an 8 count. The feeling among the judges was that he didn't dominate that round enough to warrant a 10-8, which is interesting. Otherwise, we would have had a tie and the other judges called into action.
He did win that last round, Igorov, with or without the knockdown.
Next up, Ireland's main man, Michael Conlon, looking to do his business at bantamweight, one of the most impressive boxers of the championships, up against that man in the shape of Mirojan Akhmadaliev, who doesn't stop throwing punches, energetic, come forward, aggressive fighter.
Next event is the 56-kilogram Bantamweight World Championship bout. In the red corner, representing Uzbekistan, Mirojan Akhmadaliev.
Mirojan Akhmadaliev, the 20-year-olds from Uzbekistan who have got one of the strongest teams at these World Championships.
In the blue corner,
Up
representing
against
Ireland,
Ireland's top man,
Conlon.
Michael Conlon, who's been a delight and a joy to watch throughout these championships. He hasn't had the hard tests that Akhmadaliev has had en route. He's been up against top 10 fighters all the way through to the final. To say he's battle-hardened would be an understatement. Conlon has eased past just about everyone. This is the stiffest test at his biggest moment.
Yeah, massive moment for Conlon. He's made his contests easy for himself by sticking to the tactics, using what's good for him, using his tools, a fantastic footwork he's got. He's made things easy for himself, but Akhmadaliev is a little war horse, isn't he? He's one of our favourites from early on, and I think he's made for Conlon, to be honest.
Unless he changes his style, he comes forward throwing a lot of punches. I think you picked up on it early in the competition, David. Because he throws a lot of punches, he sometimes ends up over his front foot, vulnerable to counters.
He does. There's so much momentum going in behind the shots because he really puts a lot of effort and power behind the punches. He ends up falling through with them. And Conlon can take advantage of that because his timing with his feet is really spot on, as we'll see.
Michael Conlon is already qualified for Rio. It's not about next summer, it's about tonight, it's about right now, it's about a gold medal, and it's about a piece of Irish history. Less than 10 minutes away from that golden opportunity and moment.
Boxer? So boxer, you listen to me. Your head's up, your punch is up, no holding. Okay? Shake hands, good luck.
Same Algerian referee who was in charge of the Muhammad Ali bout against Mameshev. That ended in a technical knockout. Let's hope there's no dramas here. Conlon settles down to business. Akhmadaliev knows what he's going to do. He's going to put him under pressure, give Conlon no rest, no break at all. Can Conlon find the space?
Watch your head, Conlon.
Conlon very rarely stands still,
No holding, no holding.
which is good because Akhmadaliev needs him to hold his feet to get these power shots off what he's looking for.
Box.
Conlon can punch on the move.
body shot there. Conlan, by and large, he's managed to suppress that fighting instinct. He just took a right hook, and again, he's going to be careful of that, the Irishman.
Good body shot there. I was just wondering why he was decided to stand and fight the fighter, but landed some great body shots. He needs to move his feet though, because that's what he's good at.
He doesn't need to get drawn into a battle. This is Akhmadaliyev's fight. Conlan's got that in him. He's got that instinct to have a go and have a slug, but he needs to try and make things easier on himself if he possibly can find the space.
Yeah, he's got this far by keeping his discipline and sticking to the tactics, and unless this is what he's being told to do, it'd be a shame to get dragged into his opponent's type of fight. Good body shots from Conlan, and switch to southpaw really well.
There's one of the key men you just saw in the corner. He's got so much experience to that Irish training setup. Heads close together. Conlan winced. Touch just dabbed at his right eye. Terrific left hand from the Uzbek.
Head up, Uzbekistan, head up.
Oh, Conlan walked into, swayed one way and t'other into another trio of punches.
Showing he can obviously fight as well as box here, Conlan, but I think the better option would be to move the feet. As Akhmadaliev, he won't keep the same intensity up right the way throughout the contest. He'll soon back off.
And you sense that Conlan is the slightly bigger man.
Stop. Hey, boxer, here no. You, here no.
This is the complete opposite to what we've seen from Conlan so far in the competition.
And what we expected, and that's what he may be doing. The Uzbekistans may have expected one thing and he's doing another.
Good finish from Conlan.
Watch your hands up, boxer.
To take a few punches in this round, though. Not sure how they're going to score this one on the cards. Close first round. Both had their moments.
I'd give the round to Conlan, although I would have preferred to see him do what he's been doing all week, but he's shown another dimension, another side to him.
Now the judges were split, but Conlan getting the vote on 2 of the scorecards. So it's a decent start for the Irishman, even although the start might not be what we expected. As you see, right hand coming in from Akhmadaliev, he timed that beautifully.
Yeah, right hook, right on the end of the chin of Conlan, took it no problem. So yeah, he's showing us something else here, Michael Conlan.
It's a brilliant line from Conlan just the other day. His family have celebrated birthdays in the last week. His mum Therese on Saturday said, I'll win the quarter-final for her. It was his brother Jamie who's got a big night in Dublin in just a few weeks' time. It was his birthday on Sunday. He said, I'll win the semis for him, and then I'm going to go and win the gold for myself. He's got that prospect now. He's got that opportunity in front of him.
He's just landed a brilliant right hook there. Walk right onto that one, Akhmadaliev, and we'll see him start making mistakes now, the Uzbekistan. He will get frustrated, he'll become braggart, like we said, he'll start falling in over his front foot, and Conlan can just take that step back and counter him.
He did look like he'd been in a scrap the first round, Akhmadaliev. His style, I mentioned the fact that he was battle-hardened coming into this. You could view that the other way. He's had a lot of hard fights.
Exactly, and the Irish corner may have said, well, he's been involved in that many fights. He'll be expecting you to get on your bike. Let's go and meet him in the middle and see how long he lasts, because he will be feeling the pace more than Conlan.
Dangerous strategy if so, but it's working so far just. There was a lovely light left hand there from Conlan in the southpaw stance.
He's working well from that southpaw stance. He's thrown that right hook to the body really well, and that'll be taking its toll.
Just got to be careful. Sometimes when he's squaring up, getting into that position, he's just walking onto the odd right hand. There was another one there just a moment ago.
That's the thing with switch hitters when they are in that transition from orthodox to southpaw or the other way around. He will be found square at some point. Just got to be careful they don't cop for one.
This Uzbek 2015 squad is something different entirely, David, isn't it? They had 6 out of their 9 boxers that came to the championships got to the semi-finals. 3 of them, including Akhmadaliev now, are actually in the finals on the big nights.
It was a great tournament, but you know, Ireland had as well, and it's good to see them against each other. Ireland, for such a small country, been calling them the Cuba of Europe. You know, they've done fantastic.
Absolutely sensational. Bronze already for O'Reilly, at least silver for Ward tomorrow, potentially gold tonight for Conlon for the first time in Irish history at the World Championships.
Conlon's really been impressive here because he, like he said, expected something completely different, and he's showing us he's got another level to his game. He can outwork Akhmadaliev now from now till the end. He's got more in him to do it.
Now he gets his punches off and out of range. One of the keys we've seen from this Uzbek squad is so many of them are aggressive power punches as well. Akhmadaliev aggressive. Now that could have been another good round for Conlon.
Yeah, for me it was. And it's great to see because in a way he's bullying the bully. And I'm delighted to see that he can stand and have a fight as well, and because his boxing skills have been fantastic.
And they've been rewarded on the scorecards as you see some of the action from that second round, which Conlon swept across the board. So bar one judge giving Akhmadaliev the opening round, Conlon has swept the boards, and the second round more impressive than the first.
Yeah, it's about right for me. So he's 1 round away from being the world champion, and can't see him backing off.
And there you can see Billy Walsh in front of him. He's got Zoran Tia, who's been a key ingredient in the recent Irish success, bellowing in his ear.
Yeah, the Irish team, they do really seem to have picked up since the Georgian trainer got involved all them years ago, and they've had some fantastic results.
Now he's letting the leather go. Conlon, got to be careful not to walk onto anything. Clip with the right hand there.
Because he is a big puncher, Akhmadaliev. We've seen early on he's an aggressive power puncher earlier in the tournament.
Got to be careful now, Conlon, just not to show off, to try and make too much of a final round statement.
Yeah, and the warning situation as well. The referee's been on him since the word go, so just doesn't want to give anything away at this point. Move his feet while he's on the ropes with his back to it, and he can literally coast to the gold medal in this round if he needs to. Oh, lovely.
Boxing steep throughout this family. Dad involved in the Irish culture set up, particularly with the WSB. Brother Brendan, the first of them to pick up the gloves. Michael and Jimmy followed him into the rings, pulling on the leather. Both now excelling in their different codes.
Akhmadaliev now is losing his shape. He's fallen in, shooting Conlon down to the ground. He's got more in the tank. Really does just have to get on his toes for the final, what, 90 seconds?
Well, we knew he had it in him, but he's ticked another box tonight, Conlon.
Oh yeah, massively. And although we knew he could stand and have a fight, and we've seen him in the Commonwealth Games and everything else, but it's one thing being able to have a fight, but it's out-fighting probably the best fighter in your weight division. And I say fighting as in a stand-in close, toe-to-toe fighter. And he's beat him at his own game.
Excellent point. Commonwealth champion, European champion. Less than a minute to go.
Oh,
no! Big right hand from Akhmadaliev, Conlon down, and in the second successive bout, we've had a fighter and a boxer in front on the scorecards, in command, hit the deck, and late drama.
Stop. Hey, come on.
said about Akhmadaliyev's power. And Conlan only had to coast and skip his way around the ring and stay out of range, and he just walked onto that right hook.
That was with about 40 seconds to go. We're inside the final 10.
Just move his feet.
There goes the bell. Late drama from Akhmadaliev. Conlan in control of the cards prior to that. Had he done enough previously to secure himself a little bit of Irish history? Now for everyone.
I don't think that was a 10-8 now.
الفائز في هذه المباراة.
The winner on points in 2015 56-kilogram Bantamweight World Champion from the blue corner, representing Ireland, Michael Conlan.
Conlan it is who wins gold. Irish history made. The first ever Irish boxer at a world championship to win gold. His name is Michael Conlan, the history boy. Well, we could have done without the late drama. You just knew with Akhmadaliev in the other corner, there was always the potential for some late moves. Yeah. But Conlan comes through it.
Came through it. There was always that threat, but at that point it seemed to be in the bag, and which was why I was pleading with Conlan to just take the back foot and move his feet. It was about getting the results, and thankfully it didn't matter in the end.
I'll take the blame. That's the commentator's curse. I was just about to give him the big up. I was saying Commonwealth gold, European gold. I was just about to say he's 1 minute away from world championship.
We nearly spoke too soon, didn't we?
There it is again. What a shot from Akhmadaliev. You've got to give enormous credit to this little terrier.
But what a performance from Conlan from the word go. He outfought the little fight.
For bronze, we knew that, but he's off to Rio as well. Aberdeen overcoming Michael O'Reilly. That was a disappointment for the Irish fans who've come here in great numbers.
What he'd be feeling, he's world amateur champion, and Frankie Gavin's still the only one from the British Isles to have done it up until today. What a result, and what a way to go down in Irish boxing history for
Sort of Conlon, we didn't necessarily expect to see him fight in that way, but he did and still got the job done.
Yeah, and that was what was the most impressive part about that for me. It was the aggression he's shown, and while he's been getting the results, doing everything he's had to do, his footwork's been fantastic. But then he gets in and shocks us all by doing the last thing we thought he would have done against Akhmadaliev. No one has been standing with Akhmadaliev like that, apart from maybe Tapper in the final round. Conlon done it from the off.
The presentation team are making their way out, you can see, including Dr. Wu, President of AIBA, alongside His Excellency Sheikh Johan bin Hamad Al Thani, who's the Qatar Olympic Committee President, and they're going to hand out the medals and special moments for these boxers who've just earned themselves and garnered gold, silver and 2 bronze at light fly, 46 to 49 kilograms. Seems an awful long time ago when we started some 9 or so days back, and it all boils down to this.
The medals will be presented by His Excellency Sheikh Johan bin Hamad Al Thani, President of the Qatar Olympic Committee, accompanied by Dr. Ching Kuo Wu, AIBA President and member of the International Olympic Committee's Executive Board.
الفائز بالميدالية البرونزية من الفلبين.
Bronze medalist representing the Philippines, Rojan Ladan.
Well, Rojan Ladan, one of just a couple of Filipino boxers in these championships, got all the way to the semi-final. He knocked out the #1 seed from Mexico on the day Manny Pacquiao came to town.
One of the highlights of the tournament for me that day, Alex. Just showed you what an inspiration your hero can be by watching you perform, because it really did bring the best out of Ladan. We had a great tournament.
What a moment for him with the bronze medal.
Bronze medalist representing Ukraine, Dmitry Zamotayev.
Dmitry Zamotayev of the Ukraine. He bumped into Argalagos in the semi-finals, but he's got an excellent style, has he? Throws terrific punches. We saw him against Husinov in the quarterfinals, where the first minute or so, I don't think there was a more accurate boxer through the whole tournament.
No, that spell in that first minute of that contest was superb. Good front foot pressure boxer, good control pressure, great timing.
Silver medalist representing the Russian Federation, Vasily Igorov.
Well, the European champion who beat Harvey Horn both in that final and earlier on in the competition in the second round. A career best in a way, but there'll be disappointment tinged in it too.
Yep, you can see Igorov is a natural-born winner. A silver medal, maybe a little bit of a disappointment too.
Because he knocked down the gold medalist in the final round of that bout.
Gold medalist and 2015 World Boxing Champion of the 49-kilogram light flyweight category, representing Cuba, Ioannis Argilaos.
Ioannis Argilaos, the youngster in the Cuban squad. He's chewing his chewing gum. He's still uber cool, this young dude. Cuba enjoyed 2 gold medals in 2013, 2 in 2011. They get their first in 2015 with this young man.
السيدات والسادة، يرجى من حضراتكم الوقوف استعدادا لأداء النشيد الوطني الكوبي.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Cuba.
pictures that will be in the sports papers, headlines back home, nationally in Cuba, and across the websites and forums over the next couple of days.
9-kilogram light
And it's the fact
flyweight
that
category.
Argalagos is world champion.
I think we'll know that national anthem off by heart by the time we go home, Alex.
Good point, good point. A couple still to come. Yes, tonight, Arlen Lopez, who we love, but that's tugging at the heartstrings for David and I. Lopez against Melikuziev, two of our favourite boxers in the middleweight division, two of our favourite boxers from the championships, full stop. They'll go head-to-head. And Erislandy Savon up against Evgeny Tishenko. That's up at men's heavy, our final bout, if you like, top of the bill. Russia represented again by that man, Donetsev. He's already beaten the Cuban to get to the final, and he is solid. He is a terrific boxer. He's gloved up and ready to go.
Yeah, real tough guy, wasn't he? Good engine, good movement, good at everything really. Doesn't really do anything exceptional, but he does everything really well.
In the red corner, representing the Russian Federation, Vitaly Dunayetsev.
Donetsev, the 23-year-old southpaw, already European champion. String of medals already in the cabinet, but this is one that he hopes to garner most.
Representing Uzbekistan, Fazlidin Gaibnazarov.
Second of three Uzbek finalists we're going to see in action tonight, and this guy can punch. He's got an engine. That's Fazlidin Gaibnazarov, also a southpaw, the age of 24. He is progressing through these championships and starting to make a name for himself.
In the red corner, a 2014 national champion and the 2015 Asian Confederation silver medalist, representing the Russian Federation, Vitaly Dunayetsev. The 2014 Uzbek national champion and the 2015 Asian Confederation silver medalist, representing Uzbekistan, Fazlidin Gaibnazarov.
Referee Tony Germain from Canada taking control of this one. Donetsev in the red, Gaibnazarov in the blue. Real solid look about Donetsev. Thought he looked a little tense and nervy in his corner ahead of this one. And he will be under attack from Gaibnazarov, who's aggressive, can punch, a little open and wild at times too.
Yeah, he is, and Donetsev can deal with pressure. We've seen that in his semi-final contest. But he can also work that jab well, and with the two southpaws again against each other, we like to see them working the jab more than when they're against an orthodox opponent, and Donetsev does that well.
Both throwing hooks at the same time there. It was a really close semi-final between the #1 seed Toledo and Donetsev. Wasn't much to split them in truth. Donetsev got the vote, and Toledo, one of the more come-forward Cubans in the championship, so he wasn't the sort of mover that Donetsev had to go looking for. He won't have to go looking for Gaibnazarov neither.
No, Gaibnazarov is on the front foot, but he's nice and relaxed with it. He's got that good little movement of the head there that he's shown. He's got a low lead hand, good right hook into Donetsev.
I was impressed with the Russian in that semi-final. His movement is good, his punch is solid. He seems to choose the right moments when to do what.
Yeah, he does. Gaibnazarov just puts that weight on the back foot, he loads the weight onto it. He's looking for that left hand over the top, so Donatsev will be aware of that.
A couple of good shots from the Uzbek boxer. He overcame Masuk, the Thai, who got a walkover earlier on. Toledo and Masuk were supposed to box off for a Rio place. Toledo's already qualified for the Rio next summer. So Masuk got a walkover after Toledo didn't make weight earlier on today, hence the reason there wasn't a box off for that one.
This suits Gabe Nazarov a little bit more because Donatsev holds his feet more than Masuk. So Gabe Nazarov will be pleased about that. He can get his shots off a little bit more.
Don't push,
No doubt that Gabe Nazarov's
Watch your head, keep it
less sort of erratic and aggressive than we've seen him in the past. And Donatsev's not quite got his timing like he did in the semi-finals.
A lot of tension, obviously. It's the World Championship final, so hopefully both will settle into it soon. Gabe Nazarov, he could use his jab to good effect here. He could get it off. He's got a strong jab when he uses it. He could back Donatsev up in these situations. He's not really using it. He's looking to lead with the left hand.
Both of these national champions, 3 titles for Gabe Nazarov. 8 through all the levels for the Russian, from junior up to senior level. He's won the last 2 of those.
Good little flurry there from Gabe Nazarov, and the last punch got through.
Well, Donatsev the favourite coming into this one. It's a decent enough start, I think, from Gabe Nazarov.
Yeah, me too. I would have sided with Gabe Nazarov in that round. He put the pressure on, and though we did take a few clean ones, I just thought I would have edged towards him with that round.
Judges were split, 2 of them giving it the way of Donatsev and 1 Gabe Nazarov. Gabe Nazarov's had to do a little bit of everything through the championship. He was up against a boxer and a mover in Masuk in the previous round, but the scrap with Mangia Capri, the Italian, was just all-out action from start to finish.
What a fight that was. The Italian showed some real guts and heart in that one. Took some really big punches.
Here we go into the second. Gabe Nazarov behind on the scorecards.
Looking for that left hand again straight away, the leading off with it. The weight on the back foot, and for that reason it loads up so much on the back foot. It hasn't really got a jab.
Nice sharp, fast right hook from Donatsev. Is he starting to find the rhythm?
He is, yeah. That was a good combination there on the back foot, a straight left, and the right hook which done the damage.
Just has to be careful of throwing the hooks at the same time as Gabe Nazarov.
Good shots being landed by both, and that was a good right hook from Gabe Nazarov. It suits either boxer to use the jab, more so Donatsev because he is taller and more balanced with his feet than Gabe Nazarov. He's more neutrally positioned with his weight over each foot.
He was so composed and solid against Toledo in the semi-finals.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a class performance, and it was a bit of a shock really.
Oh!
Tough one there though.
He took it well, Donatsev.
Gabe Nazarov starting to get that right hook off really well.
Comes back with a couple of punches of his own.
Just leaning out of range when they're coming back from Donatsev and making him miss. Good round for Gabe Nazarov.
Yes, and in close rounds, a big punch like that, big eye-catching punch like that nobody could miss, can be the difference on the scorecards.
Donatsev, right hook again. The right hook seems to be the favoured punch for both boxers.
Had Donatsev been doing best up until that big moment?
I think so, yeah, but he's just got back into it again with his own shot, and the way these contests are going is so tight. You're looking for single clean shots to try and convince you who's going to win the round, because tactically they're cancelling each other out a lot.
David Nazarov is forcing Donetsev to scrap here. Right at the end of the round, it's the Russian who's on the front foot. Good round. Good round that. Both had their moments. I think the judges have seen it exactly the same way they saw it in the previous round. Judge C likes Gabe Nazarov, the other two, the Russian Donetsev, who's in control of the scorecards at least, not necessarily the bout, given what we've seen so far tonight.
Yeah, not literally, because neither are managing to gain complete control. It's back and forth in little spells. Such a close contest, and that right hook landing again. That's the favoured punch for both boxers, it seems. The straight left hand and the right hook is all that seems to be landing from both. No jab, not many body shots thrown either.
Here we go then into the third and final round. Uzbekistan with 3 gold medal prospects tonight. Medaliev has already been beaten. Gabe Nazarov is behind in the scorecards here, with Malakuziev still to come.
It was a nice little shot from Donetsev, a little lead and screw shot, but he got caught after that.
Gabe Nazarov is a solid puncher.
Yeah, he is a big puncher, Gabe Nazarov, and it speaks volumes for how well Donetsev can take a shot, because he took a few solid ones, but we don't know, given the last 2 contests, what happened in the final rounds. No point speaking too soon.
Holding. Stop.
You can see them living every single moment of it over there in the Uzbekistan corner. They've had so much to cheer about through these championships so far.
Good defence on the ropes there from Donetsev.
Don't push, Blue.
Covered up, and he avoided about 4 punches coming through from Gabe Nazarov then.
He's got the skill set, Donetsev, there's no doubt about that. He's been drawn into moments of worry throughout the round so far.
There's nothing flash about him, is there? As we said earlier, he just gets the job done, and he's pretty understated, but he's really effective.
He is with a little short, chopping left hand. We're inside the final minute of this one.
A quiet final round, really, isn't it, Alex? Considering.
Gabe Nazarov came out with sort of punching intent in the first minute, not quite being able to close the gap or land any shots on Donetsev. Closing seconds.
Watch your head. Stop.
And despite walking onto a couple of big hooks, Vitaly Donetsev looks like he's done enough to earn himself a gold medal at light welter.
Yeah, I'd say so. At the end of the 3 rounds, I'd give that to Donetsev. I liked gave Nazarov in round 1.
الفائز بهذه المباراة لوزن 64 كيلوغرام.
The winner on points in 2015 64-kilogram light welterweight world champion from the red corner, representing the Russian Federation, Vitaly Dunaitsev.
I want to take something to get a smile out of Donaitsev, Alex. Sorry, I still haven't seen him smile.
The European champion is now the world champion. Russia are on the board with the gold. His name is Vitaly Donaitsev. Well, they'll be smiling now as they pose for the team photos as we look back on the highlights of that bout. There were little moments. He walked onto a couple of hooks through the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, he got caught with enough clean punches to make sure he was switched on throughout, and solid boxer though all round, isn't he? He's pretty good at everything.
It was a final round scorecard rally given to Gabe Nazarov. He was given that third round on all of the scorecards, but the previous two went the way of Donaitsev. There wasn't much in it all the way through.
No, again, another really close one, well matched, and it takes a keen eye to split the two. So close.
So Cuba, Ireland and Russia, the gold medalists so far. And we will bring you another of the medal ceremonies, basically in delayed order, one by one, after each of the bouts. And then we'll bring you two after the final contest between Savon and Tishenko. Still a silver medal for Gabe Nazarov is an excellent achievement in these championships. And he is starting to progress. That's the third time of asking. And he's done the best he's managed so far.
Yeah, great achievement, and he's got what he came for, really. The objective, the priority, I think, for most teams coming here is to gain Olympic qualification, because World Championships and European and Asian Games, they're all great, but the pinnacle of amateur boxing is Olympic Games, and that's what they needed to do, was qualify.
There's the smiling Irishman taking the plaudits from that big contingent over on the far side who have followed him all the way. The presentation ceremony for the Bantamweight division includes Franco Falcinelli, who is the AIBA Vice President and President of the European Union. And Mr. Youssef Rashid Al Sawedi, who is a member of the Qatar Boxing Federation. They will hand out the medals to these young men.
The medals will be presented by Mr. Franco Falcinelli, AIBA Vice President and EUBC President, accompanied by Mr. Youssef Rashid Al Sawedi, member of the Qatar Boxing Federation.
الفائز بالميدالية البرونزية من الهند.
Bronze medalist representing India, Shiva Thapa.
A bronze medal for the number 7 ranked Indian Shiva Thapa, who produced one of the highlights of the championship with that left hook that took out Mohammed in the second round of competition, and he has been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, good to see another quality Indian boxer. They've been producing some really good talent over the last 10 years or so, so it's good to see that they're carrying that on.
الميدالية البرونزية من بيلاروسيا.
Bronze medalist representing Belarus, Dmitry Asanov.
Dmitry Asanov, whose father is a referee at these championships, celebrating a bronze medal. Well, that, no doubt, the highlight of his career, but there's better still to come. He's qualified for Rio.
Yeah, he's qualified. I'm just looking at him, he's tall for the weight and he's 19, so Rio's about 10 months off. He's going to have to really hold his weight down, but obviously now's the time to celebrate. He's became an Olympian.
And all of that at the age of just 19. Interesting if he can take the next step to bridge the gap with the top boys.
Silver medalist representing Uzbekistan, Murodjon Akhmadaliev.
Murodjon Akhmadaliev turns 21 next month. Good to see him smiling. And well, he might. He got a silver in the Youth World Championships. Now he's got one up at senior level too.
Yeah, great performances and one of my favourites from a fan's point of view at this tournament.
الفائز بالميدالية الذهبية وبطل العالم للملاكمة 2015 لوزن 56 كيلوغرام من إيرلندا.
Gold medalist and 2015 World Boxing Champion of the 56-kilogram bantamweight category, representing Ireland, Michael Conlan.
Ireland's hero. He has carried the hopes of a nation on those slight and slender shoulders. You can't underestimate the pressure that he's been under throughout these championships to perform and deliver. And to deliver Ireland their first gold in a World Championships, you cannot ask for any more than that. It's been a sensational effort from Michael Conlan.
Yeah, fully deserved. He's already an Olympian, so he came here with one target and one target only, and that was that gold medal. I don't think he would have settled for anything less. Been great to watch throughout. Showed another side to him tonight. Well deserved.
Can he repeat it in Rio next summer?
السيدات والسادة النشيد الوطني الإيرلندي.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Ireland.
What a proud moment for that man and his entire family. His two brothers, mum, dad, the extended clan. How proud they must be of that achievement and his effort throughout the championships. And to do it in the manner and the style that he did it eventually throughout that final was something else entirely.
Yeah, it was a shock to me. I was expecting something completely different from what he'd done, but something exactly the same as what he's done earlier in the tournament, which was to get on the back foot and boxing against an opponent who thought was made for him. But what he decided to do was beat the opponent at his own game, and you've got to applaud that.
They're warming up for the men's middle final. Uzbekistan with a couple of silvers so far, but they want gold. And there's been a bit of money for this man up against the Cuban star, Arlen Lopez. Bektamir Melikuziev, only 19. He has been one of the finds of the season and one of the unexpected stars of the tournament. This guy is just a delight to watch. Relaxed style. Punches just flow naturally off him up against this young starlet who can punch like a mule.
For me, it's the most interesting one of all the finals. Lopez, an exceptional performer throughout. Fantastic, economical footwork. Doesn't skip around like your typical Cuban on his toes. He just takes nice small steps, takes his time, switches from orthodox to southpaw seamlessly, gets the shots off as he's doing it. And Melakuziev, he's something of a precocious talent, isn't he? He's 19, but he's got the strength of a man in his late 20s. And he's got, the thing is with Melakuziev, there's so much more to come from him. I think over the years he's like a bit of a rough diamond, so this is fascinating.
Intriguing matchup between the pair. He's chubby-faced, Melakuziev. He says he's a bit of a book lover. You just don't put the two together when you see the left hook that dispatched his opponent in the very first round of the first phase of competition. One of the highlight moments of the whole championships.
Yeah, he's heavy-handed, that's for sure. His power punches look effortless, just relaxed, whips them in without much effort, and they cause damage.
I wonder if Melakuziev might just have the slight advantage in speed. He might just have the slight advantage also in terms of variety. This is an intriguing matchup. He's not going to have to go looking for Lopez. He's not a Cuban mover.
No, he isn't. Lopez is happy to battle for centre ring, get his jab off. Melakuziev will welcome that.
I think this is probably our favourite style of the championship in Lopez and our favourite fighter of the championship in Melakuziev.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. It's like watching a unification fight in the professionals, isn't it?
I hope we've whetted the appetite. Intrigued to see how this one pans out. Can the young man raise his game when it matters most? Are Cuba set to dominate again up here at middle? Melakuziev was able to solve the fleet-footed puzzle of O'Reilly in the previous round in the semi-final, which was a bit of a surprise how well he did handle the Irishman. Very different sort of puzzle in front of him in the shape of Cuban switch hitter. And you'll see Lopez starts off in the southpaw stance.
Yeah, and Melakuziev straight away landed a solid jab, which is a great shot for him against the fellow southpaw.
No holding, no holding.
Lopez in red with a more sort of orthodox controlled style. You see him sort of switch between his stances. A bit more sort of loose variety from Melakuziev.
Both trying to get the jab off, which is good to see. But Melakuziev, he gets out of the way of shots with his feet well as you see there. He just backs away out of range. So he's got more to him than just brute strength.
There weren't many of the bookies on the continent back home in the UK betting on this one, but there was a bit of money. The odds were shortening up on Melakuziev, and I think the word had definitely got out from these championships. We've been raving about him since that first round knockout. Oh!
That's what I took there from Lopez.
And that's where the loose style of Melakuziev might just come unhinged.
Yeah, doesn't want to go in to the attacks.
Stop!
Switching off like that, he needs to be switched on and putting thought into his attacks. Maybe feinting first to draw the counter and then firing in afterwards.
It's another right hook round the side of the head from Lopez, who switched back to right-hander. Lopez has got real good experience. He's unusual in that regard for a Cuban, so much as he has travelled quite a bit. He was in China to win a tournament last year, and he also went to Marrakech in 2014 to win. So he has encountered a few different European styles and Asian styles.
Watch your head. Don't put your head in.
Even with such a threat in front of him as Melakuziev. You can see how calm Lopez is, and it's just it's instinctive how he performs.
There's a bit of movement there that's just proving difficult for Lopez to work out. Lands with a couple of shots of his own.
Good right hook on the inside there from Lopez. Really good shot.
Both of these guys punch with a bit of authority.
That was lovely work from the Cuban. Great head movement to avoid the shot, and then spun Melakuziev round.
Uzbek just landed with his own sort of right hand there. Really good competitive first round that. Better start from Melakuziev. Better finish from halfway through the round to the end by Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez for me in that round, Alex.
And the scorecards reflect that. It was tight, it was close, but Lopez maybe doing the better work from halfway, and he's in front after that first round. Both of them were made to miss somewhat through the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, Melakuziev using his feet well in the first half of the round. But Lopez just takes enough of a step back where he's only a matter of inches out of range. He doesn't step too far back. He's got a time to perfection. He really is a wonderful boxer.
And at this level, they're making each other miss, so perhaps not as smooth and eye-catching as they have been in previous parts of the competition. But you can see that the style of Lopez definitely lends itself to the WSB, where he's been highly successful. He won 7 of his 9 bouts in the last series. Did lose the final, though. He is in the final match of these championships.
Don't put his head down. Don't pull him down. Box!
The thing is with Lopez, he's happy to stand in the pocket with dangerous opponents because he's got that much ability defensively. Good right hand from him.
And that's better. He's actually timing the punches coming back at him, and he's able to come back with his own quick, sharp counters there, Lopez.
Yeah.
Get your head up, get your head up. Box!
So he just takes that backward step enough just to make the opponent miss by a matter of inches, and that's an art in itself.
Such a courageous style, too. Right in the line of fire, Lopez.
Yeah, a lot of Cuban boxers happy to just go on the back foot, but not Lopez.
As ever, with the new AIBA heads-up campaign brought in during these championships, referees keen to have the boxers coming forward in the appropriate manner to avoid cuts. It's been hugely successful so far. Great Britain's Daniel McFarlane, the one in there in the middle.
Good effort here from Melakuziev. He's really putting it on Lopez. Not landing much. Lopez landing the right hand there. Lopez's defence is about as good as I've seen at this tournament. He can do everything defensively. Footwork, head movement, good tight guard when it needs to be.
Lovely short two-punch combination there from Lopez.
Yeah, and he comes out of that defence with counters like you've just pointed out.
He's making Melakuziev miss now, but he's punishing him in return.
He's putting a little bit of an exhibition on here, Lopez. He really is, considering what he's got in front of him, especially in Melakuziev.
Melakuziev is always a threat with that power of his.
No holding, no holding. Break!
Lopez doesn't need to go looking for Melakuziev when he's backpedaling, because for me he's winning the round. He's having his most success in situations like that there when Melakuziev's on the attack.
Just been picked off a little bit, the Uzbek. Maybe just looking a bit ragged round the edges too in that round.
Yeah, you can see with Melakuziev, he's still young and he's pretty raw, but there's so much to work with going forward.
And Lopez in front on the scorecards all the way through the 2 rounds so far. Much more accurate in that second. And there's an example of them both making each other miss. Not that one though from the Cuban. Can he raise himself for one last effort? It's been such a long campaign for the youngster. Only 19 years old, Melakuziev. Here we go, into the third, final round. Melakuziev comes out swinging.
Watch your heads, guys, watch your heads.
Working the body as well. Lopez now in the last round. Good right hook landed there. Just needs to stay switched on and give nothing away, and it's in the bag.
One of the things Melakuziev has done in all the rounds previously is that sort of slightly unorthodox movement has tempted the punches from his opponent, and then he's been able to sort dart back in and counter. He's not been able to do that with Lopez tonight.
No, Lopez is too switched on to that, and he's beaten him to the punch, and Melakuziev is starting to walk onto a few solid ones in this round. Just landed a good jab of his own there.
Cubans in full voice. The support for the Cuban boxers has been fantastic. I suppose they know they can book their flights on exactly the days. They know they're going to get all the way through, at least with some of the boxers, to the final. It's not a case of having to go home early for those fans.
Oh yeah, that's a given with the Cuban team. They're going to have more than one in the final. This has been a better round for Melakuziev so far, though, for me, Alex. Lopez just taking his foot off the gas, maybe, or Melakuziev throwing caution to the wind and giving it everything he's got.
Well, Cuba came here with 10 boxers represented in every division. 6 of them have managed to get to the final. Already 1 for 1 with the golds. Lopez trying to make it 2 on the night.
Go inside, break! Stop! Stop, listen to me. On the break, step back. Break, you step back. Okay. Box!
Inside the final minute. So one last assault from Melakuziev.
He's having more success this round, Melakuziev, as well, because he's not marching in as recklessly. He's getting in and then getting out with his feet and waiting a little bit more for Lopez to advance instead of him being on the front foot, which suited the Cuban more.
You're right.
Good shot.
You're right about Lopez being switched on this round too. He is shot. I think he's fought at the level he's had to box at so far through the competition.
Yeah. Just been a little one step ahead of Melakuziev in the first 2 rounds, but for me the Uzbek is winning this one.
And there goes the final bell. 2 of the best boxers in the championship. Unfortunately for them in the same weight, only one of them could win. And despite a late rally from the excellent young prospect, maybe future champion Melakuziev, he's had to come up second best in this one.
Yeah, well, what you've got to wonder, Alex, is that in the next 10 months, who is the more likely to improve out of these 2 boxers in the ring? And the answer is Melakuziev. Lopez is nearer the finished article. He's older. Melakuziev's got so much scope for improvement, and the level he's already at, it bodes well for a great future for him.
And we look forward to that. Here we have the decision.
الفائز بفارق نقاط لمباراة وزن 75 كيلوغرام.
The winner on points and 2015 75-kilogram world middleweight champion. From the red corner, representing Cuba, Arlen Lopez.
Arlen Lopez has been something of a slow burner. It took him 4 attempts to win the national title back home in Cuba. That reflective of the depth of talent they have there. But this guy has got bundles of it, and he is now a world champion who's going to Rio.
Melacuzzi had in tears there. See how much it meant to him to get that gold medal, and that's a good sign. He's a winner. He wants gold and nothing less, and he's going to get it eventually, obviously.
Yeah, it's sad to see for him as we look back on some of the highlights, but that underlines what a competitor that young man is.
He's only going to get stronger from the experience of this tournament, and like I said, you wouldn't bet against him winning the gold in Rio, because he will improve even more in the next 10 months.
Yeah, he's still crying, but I tell you what, there's a section of the crowd in front of our position here who are as close as you can get to the ring. And as Melacuzzi was making his exit past them, pretty much to man and woman, they all got up on their feet and cheered him on his way. He'll be back. Well, we move on with the medal ceremonies, and light welterweight medals I think are going to be up next. Tunetsev beating Gabe Nazarov in that final, with Toledo and Masuk earning bronze medals as well. All of that is still to come. And of course, we still have one more big fight with the big men at heavyweight. Looking forward to that one, with Savon up against Tishenko. So Ireland and Russia on the gold medal table. Cuba are 2 out of 2, with one more still to come. I wonder if the Cubans can get the clean sweep. 3 out of 3 tonight, 3 out of 3 tomorrow.
Would you bet against it?
I hope Joe Ward do a clash of styles tomorrow. Joe Ward against Julio La Cruz.
It's a big ask. La Cruz has dealt with everyone in front of him the same way by going on the back foot, but you never know. Savon against Tishenko, which is next.
Very nearly tempted to have a little bet on Tishenko.
Yeah, I see why. I think Tishenko could cause the upset in that one. Tall southpaw.
Here we go with the medal ceremony coming up next for these light welterweights.
The medals will be presented by Dr. Chin Kuo Wu, AIBA President and International Olympic Committee Executive Board Member, accompanied by Mr. Ahmed Ismail Al-Zayara, General Secretary of the Qatar Boxing Federation.
الفائز بالميدالية البرونزية من كوبا.
Bronze medalist representing Cuba, Yasniel Toledo Lopez.
Well, the #1 seed, somewhat stony-faced. I don't think it's the medal he came here for.
Most definitely not. The Cubans, they want gold every time, and probably going to be disappointed with that bronze, but it's still a medal.
Yes, and Toledo will be back. He's qualified for Rio already, and so now is this man.
Thailand.
Bronze medalist representing Thailand, Wonachai Masuk.
Masuk batting himself a bronze, but more importantly, he's now going to the Olympic Games next year.
Yeah, mission accomplished for Masuk, who's frustrated his opponents with his unconventional style at this tournament and fast footwork, but he's got the job done by doing that, so we'll be happy with that ticket to Rio.
Silver medalist representing Uzbekistan, Fazladin Gaib Nazarov.
It's been an excellent couple of weeks' work for Gaib Nazarov with that come-forward style of his, heavy hands. And at the age of 24, he's bagged himself a World Championship silver medal to boot.
Yeah, it's been good to watch, hasn't he, Gaib Nazarov? Especially when the styles have gelled. He's been in with someone who's been happy to stand and trade with him.
وبطل العالم للملاكمة 2015 لوزن 64 كيلوغرام من روسيا.
Gold medalist and 2015 World Boxing Champion of the 64-kilogram light welterweight category. Representing the Russian Federation, Vitaly Dunayetsev.
He's nearly smiling for you now as he has that gold medal around his neck. Russia have won at least one gold in 3 successive World Championships. It could get better still. And the win over Toledo in the semi-final was the platform for gold.
Yeah, it was a great win for him. Could be a massive turning point going forward. The career of Dunayetsev, he's now world champion and he's the man to beat.
السيدات والسادة يجري حضراتكم الوقوف استعدادا لأداء النشيد الوطني الروسي.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the Russian Federation.
السيدات والسادة الفائزون بميدالية بطولة العالم للملاكمة وزن 64
The medal
كيلوغرام.
return for the Eastern European countries has been excellent. The strike rate from the number of boxers they qualified getting through to semi-finals and finals. Azerbaijan, Russia, Uzbekistan has been quite impressive.
Yeah, they do tend to have a lot of success, these Eastern European countries, and we're obviously now starting to see them come through the professional game as well, with Kovalev and Golovkin and Terbiev, to name a few, so you can understand the talent, the strength and depth that the countries have.
Uzbekistan, of course, part of that Asian Confederation, doing so well, and you'd have to say the Cubans, as ever, the stars of the championship, and their big man still to come. He used to be in the super heavyweight division once upon a time, but he's now boxing at, I think, his appropriate weight. He's got all the tools. He can jab, move, punch. He's up against a guy in Evgeny Tishenko who can move. He throws a lot of punches. He's fast-handed. He could be a handful tonight. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, we haven't seen Savon taken out of his comfort zone yet as regards to tempo of the contest. He's done it all at his own pace. Tishenko will look to change that. He throws plenty, throws them fast, throw them up close for the big man as well, and see how Savon responds to that type of pressure.
He comes from a famous fighting family, of course, cousin to the great Felix Savon, who won 6 of these World Championships through the 80s and 90s, a silver medal alongside as well for that triple Olympic champion. And here comes Savon's opponent, Evgeny Tishenko, the number 3 seed, 24-year-old southpaw, who is gaining experience. He's getting better and better. European gold medalist already this year, and second only to Clemente Russo in these championships 2 years ago. What an opportunity to go one better.
Great opportunity. Savon in front of him. If he lost to Russo 2 years ago, maybe Russo could have given Savon a bit of a blueprint, and Russo is fast on his feet. He's a bit of a bull. Those big long looping shots, I don't think that's Savon's game. Savon's going to look to try and counter Tishenko. It could be a bit of a thinking man's contest, this one.
Tishenko wouldn't move in the same way that Russo does. He's more in range, he's more aggressive as well, but he's got the speed. It'll be interesting if he can out-punch the big man, who you can see the blemish under his cheek, the scars of victory. That was a head clash in a previous round.
European Confederation champion, ranked number 1 in the world, and representing the Russian Federation, Evgeny Tishenko.
Fans of Cuba, they've been singing and dancing throughout these championships, and tonight they've been on fire with 2 gold medals already. Will they make it a clean sweep and 3 out of 3?
Good luck.
Here we go. Russian in his way. Kazakh referee Rakimzan Raispayev. And immediately, there you see the fast hands of Tishenko straight to work.
It's going to be speed against timing, and there's the timing from Savon. Just a little backward step and a solid right hand. There's not that much difference in terms of height. I thought there may have been a little bit more. Savon fights a little bit lower. He's got long arms. Oh, good left hook.
Tishenko slightly caught in no man's land as he came forward there. This is the furthest that the big Cuban has gone in a World Championship. He's been to 3 of them before. Quarter-final stage only in each of those trio of World Championships, stretching back like 6 or so years.
Here's a class act, and surprising to know that the furthest he's gone was the quarter-finals. But he's got that monkey off his back at this tournament. He's in the final now, and obviously only the winner will qualify for Rio in this one. A bit even more than just the gold medal at stake here.
Absolutely. Only a win will do to book a ticket.
He's throwing his shots to Tishenko, but he's just out of range, so nothing's landing, and Savon's fleet-footed away.
British boxing fans will remember through nail-biting moments that the tight encounter at London 2012 in the first round against Anthony Joshua. That could easily have gone the other way. Joshua emerged by a point. Lo and behold, he went on to win the thing.
And it just goes to show Savon, if he can compete at super heavyweight with the eventual gold medalist, then he's in with a great chance at heavyweight, which he's proved so far.
Good contest this. Nice punch that from Tishenko.
Yeah, good straight left hand, and that will have been eye-catching for the judges.
See, Savon is trying to find those fast counters.
Getting the jab off at times as well, Savon, which is good to see.
So the final 30 seconds of this one. Such a stoic man, Erislandy Savon. I'd hate to play him in a game of cards or poker.
Yeah, he is really poker faced, isn't he? He's willing to give nothing away. Complete counter puncher, as you can see there. And Tashenko's leading off, but I think Savon has timed it well this round, and I'd go with Savon in this round for the cleaner work.
There's another little punch from Tashenko just before the bell. He had his moments there. He had Savon worried with a couple of early punches. Interesting first round, that. Close one. And the judges like the work of Tashenko. There you see some of those counters. Tashenko was coming forward early in the competition. They come forward aggressive, and boxers were being rewarded. Perhaps less so as things have got tighter in the finals stages. There you see both having their moments.
They're both having the moments. The more work by way of volume of punches coming from Tashenko, but I liked Savon in that round. I liked his movement, I liked his counters. His timing was spot on from the word go, it seems. But he's going to have to pick it up if he's a round down.
Here we go then into the second. Yaroslav Savon, the big Cuban in the red, against Russia's Evgeny Tashenko. It's the number 1 and number 3 seeds up against each other in the World Championship final.
Both landed there. I think Savon's left hook was the harder of the two. I've yet to see Savon really go on the front foot and force the issue and be first to the punch. He really is strictly a counter puncher. That may have to change in this contest.
There's another short right counter punch from the Cuban.
He is landing some fantastic shots off the back foot.
Reminder to watch the heads. The referee is part of that AIBA Heads Up campaign initiative. He's got that sensational WSB record, Savon. Won all 9 of his bouts, including the final this season, and 17 out of 17 in total. He's actually won the last 2 finals as well.
And he's yet to qualify for the Olympics. So it shows how difficult it is. Right up, but that jab by Savon was better in response, and he's having a really good round here for me, the Cuban. Taking centre of the ring now as we speak as well.
Yeah, slightly more positive, and he's boxing with meaning here.
Yeah, this is better from him.
I've seen so often in the competition, the championship, that boxers in the corners aren't aware of the scores, but Cuban is boxing as though he is.
Yeah, he may have had a little word in his ear. Tashenko's coming in close, he's throwing his shots, but a lot of them are on the inside of the glove, and Savon's catching them, so I wouldn't include them as any scoring shots.
Those landing on the gloves. Touch on Rio qualification, of course. Levitt, the number 2 seed, who went out in his first bout, actually. He got a bye to the second, a walkover in the next round, and then he bumped into Manikian in his first actual fight of the competition, and he got a bit of a rum decision that night. He has, though, qualified for Rio at the expense so far of Savon.
This is a clear-cut Savon round for me, Alex.
Lovely uppercut there in close as well.
Oh, brilliant work again. Great timing.
There was much more devil in the work of Savon, meaning on the front foot. Tashenko was coming forward. While Tashenko has got the sweep on the scorecards, the Russians can do no wrong, it seems tonight.
Disagree with that. I think Savon's won both rounds, even more so the second round. Oh, that was a great round for him, boxed brilliantly. Deserved the round. So I don't know what fight the judges were watching there, obviously preferring the volume coming from the Russian, but Savon thrown just as many in that round for me as Tashenko.
So it means Savon needs something special. In the land of the big men, that is always possible.
Prefer about where it's going into the last round, even Stevens, don't we, Alex? It always makes for a more exciting final round. It's a shame the way this one's panning out so far.
Savon just lost his footing there. Is that because of a punch? These pair actually met in the semi-finals of the WSB last year, and it was Savon who came out on top. But right now, he's getting the wrong end of this one.
Tashenko moving to his right to try and avoid that right hand of Savon's, which has had so much success.
Not all of those were landing up close from Savon, but he's trying to put in the effort here.
He's having to do something which we don't really see him do much, Savon, and that's go on the front foot and lead off. Seems to be able to do it adequately, although prefers the back foot counter-punching style which he employed in the first 2 rounds.
That mark under his right eye on the cheekbones just starting to swell up and drip once again. There's not much from Tashenko this round. No. Again, you have to ask yourself who's doing more in this round, who's doing more on balance in the bout itself.
Yeah, and you'd have to ask whether Tashenko knows how the first 2 rounds are scored, and Savon, because he's come out on the front foot. He's going to need a knockdown or something special, like you said, isn't he?
Again, they come close together. It's been much, much scrappier in this round. Not much in the way of telling or indeed meaningful punches landed. There's a nice one from Savon, and another.
Good way again from Savon, which puts him ahead in the round again for me, because not much has happened until then. Anything clean anyway.
I think it may be this final round to go the way of Savon. There's going to be some incredulous looks in that Cuban corner shortly.
Savon, for me, should be champion of the world after that performance.
And look at the reaction of the 2 boxers. There's the way body language of Tashenko as he's gone back there. The way he sat in his stool at the end of the second round.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a man who thinks he's just won a gold medal at this biggest of events.
Good right hook landed there from Tashenko, which is a good shot for him. Gets it off well. But Savon, for me, was a step ahead right throughout that contest.
Well, the judges' scores will be in by now. They'll be collated. And those men, and indeed women, ringside with these men's immediate futures in their hands.
السيدات والسادة، الفائز بالمباراة الأخيرة لهذا اليوم نهائي 91 كيلوغرام.
The winner on points in 2015 91 kilogram heavyweight world champion. From the blue corner, representing the Russian Federation, Evgeny Tashenko.
Tashenko goes one better than he did 2 years ago. He's a world champion, but he barely celebrates the moment until now. think he feels that he's got one there, and the Cuban streak has been broken tonight.
Well, we tipped Tashenko to have a chance, didn't we? But in hindsight, we think, well, I think personally, Savon should have won that, really.
Well, the Cubans have been dancing and smiling, but I think the smile has just been wiped off many faces after that one. And it's the Russians who have 2 gold medalists on the night, and we'll be bringing the latest off them shortly. There you see Tashenko landing a terrific punch. That might have been the one that just opened up that cut again on the cheek of Savon. Scores in the end. One of the judges gave all 3 rounds to Tashenko. The remaining 2 did give the final round the way of Savon, which is how we saw it. That's a surprise, I think, to say the least. And Savon is bound to be back in that dressing room, and if he's not crying, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed bitterly. He's come so far, having had the pressure of getting past his quarter-final best, and gets to the final, 1 away from qualification. But I think more than anything, Savon wanted that gold medal. He's got the pressure, he's got the name Savon to live up to. He's going to qualify for the Olympics, there's no doubt about that. It was the World Championship gold medal that he wanted.
Here we go then with the medal ceremony for the remaining 2 divisions we've covered tonight as we come to the end of our coverage. Men's middleweight champion there, you can see that is Arlen Lopez, and Tashenko will receive his medal shortly as well. And he's on the way to the Olympic Games, the Russian. And that's another excellent moment for Michael O'Reilly. Ireland have had a fantastic championships, so have Uzbekistan, and we'll celebrate their moment shortly.
عضو في اللجنة الأولمبية الدولية يرافقها السيد حسن المحمدي عضو الاتحاد القطري للملاكمة.
The medals will be presented by Mrs. Yumilka Ruiz, member of the International Olympic Committee, accompanied by Mr. Hassan Al-Mohammadi, member of the Qatar Boxing Federation.
الفائز بالميدالية البرونزية من إيرلندا.
Bronze medalist representing Ireland, Michael O'Reilly.
What an achievement for Michael O'Reilly. His talent saw him knock out the reigning world champion. That'll be a scalp that he's got on his record, and a world championship bronze. Not a bad couple of weeks' work for him.
No, not a bad couple of weeks. A bittersweet, really, for O'Reilly. Won a bronze medal, which is a massive achievement, but I think he deserved to be the one who got the ticket to Rio tonight. He was unlucky.
And he didn't get the decision against Abdeen.
من مصر.
Bronze medalist representing Egypt,
حسام عبدي.
San Abdeen it was who got that verdict over O'Reilly. You can just see that O'Reilly's enthusiasm slightly tempered by the fact that he's come so close and perhaps unlucky to not be going to Rio next year. Yet.
Yeah, he'll get there. He wants that pressure off his shoulders now, though. The earlier the better to qualify for the Olympics.
The upsides for that man though, and he got fantastic support in this arena this evening, and indeed throughout the competition.
Yeah, he's been rugged throughout, and some good wins, and he's a two-time Olympian now, isn't he?
Representing Uzbekistan, Bantamweight Melakuziev.
This young 19-year-old was in tears when he lost. That underlines his competitive streak. He was one of the stars of the championship, and he may well be the future and tomorrow in the middleweight division.
Yeah, something of a revelation. Silver medal is a great achievement for a 19-year-old just coming out of the youth ranks, and don't be surprised if goes one better at Rio.
وبطل العالم للملاكمة 2015 وزن 75 كيلوغرام من كوبا.
Gold medalist and 2015 World Boxing Champion of the 75-kilogram middleweight category, representing Cuba, Arlen Lopez.
22-year-old Arlen Lopez, the switch hitter from Cuba, the #1 seed, delivers, and he got better as the tournament progressed, and he did it on the big stage when it mattered most.
Yeah, probably for me, the boxer of the tournament. I mean, there's 5 more finals to contend with, but he really does seem to have the complete package, Lopez.
Such a smooth start, and look at those shots, fantastic. Marakuziev dejected and downcast, and delight for Lopez.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Cuba.
السيدات والسادة اللاعبون الفائزون بميدالية بطولة العالم للملاكمة.
All things being well, we'll see all 4 of those podium boxers in Rio against next summer. For sure, we'll see Marakuziev, Lopez and Abdin. With a slice of luck, O'Reilly, it's only a matter of time, hopefully, before he books his slot as well.
Yeah, let's hope so. Also got Anthony Fowler from Great Britain. He's going to be likely to qualify for Rio, and he'll have something to say about that podium. So plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, these are great shots, with the fans getting up close to one of their heroes, and he able to go and thank them for what has been outstanding support throughout the championships.
Oh yeah, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? And I've been wondering, did he live over here or if he travelled over here? It's been phenomenal. It was the last country I expected to see with so much support. I thought maybe the Irish, the British, you know, like the likes of Morocco and countries like that, and obviously Qatar, but the Cubans and the Mexicans have been brilliant.
Support has been terrific, and we have one more medal ceremony still to bring you. By the way, in that presentation ceremony was Yamilka Ruiz, double volleyball gold medalist in the Olympics. She was handing out the medals to the latest young athletes to follow in her footsteps.
Every mountain, so down for nothing. Tonight the world is calling out your name.
Lovely, chunky, sizable medals as well, aren't they? Look fantastic.
Yeah, you'd love to have one of them on your mantelpiece, wouldn't you?
And your Olympic bronze, has that got pride of place?
No, it's in like a case where my Commonwealth title belt is as well. It's hidden away it's been touched and rubbed that much from when I got home. It's worn out, so it's out of action now.
And I imagine the first sort of few weeks you got home, friends and families
Yeah.
must have been looking at it and touching it and getting their photos taken with it.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't have let them, because it doesn't look like an Olympic medal anymore.
Well, these are the guys who now have that glory and have those medals, whether they're silver, bronze, or the very top medal that is desired, the gold. And at a world championship, you know what goes into this. We've seen these last 9-10 days what's gone on and how much effort and industry and the coaching and everything that's gone into making this happen.
Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work put into it from everyone involved on the teams, not just the boxers, like you said, the coaches, the support staff, and you know, you'd go to the boxers' hotel and the backroom staff are working literally 24/7. They're constantly doing performance analysis, dealing with injuries, cuts, you know, training sessions, tactics. There's just so much goes in behind the scenes, and it's a credit to everyone involved in each team who've won a medal.
That man only gets a silver, and we'll be bringing that to you shortly. All nations represented here, all manner of styles as well. We've seen either prevail or not.
Oh, it's been great watching so many different styles compete against each other. It's a real eye-opener for a lot of people, and the standard's been fantastic, really has.
Here we go then with our final medals ceremony of tonight. 5 medals decided. 2 have gone to Cuba, 2 to Russia, and 1 to Ireland.
السيدات والسادة، حفل توزيع الميداليات لوزن 91 كيلوغرام.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the 91 kilogram heavyweight category.
And here come the boxers for that medal ceremony. Great to see Savon go straight over to the fans and acknowledge them.
Welcome the medalists.
They appreciate the support they've been given. He's got a smile on his face, Savon, so not too disappointed. Hopefully he knows who the real winner of that contest was.
الأمين العام للجنة الأولمبية القطرية ورئيس اللجنة المنظمة يرافقه السيد علي نصر اليافعي عضو الاتحاد القطري للملاكمة.
The medals will be presented by Dr. Thani Abdulrahman Al-Kawari, Secretary General of the Qatar Olympic Committee and President of the local organizing committee, accompanied by Mr. Ali Nasser Al-Yafi, member of the Qatar Boxing Federation.
الفائز بالميدالية البرونزية من أذربيجان.
Bronze medalist representing Azerbaijan, Abdulkadir Abdullayev.
Number 4 ranked boxer in the world, Abdullayev. He was undone by Savon again in the semi-finals. He'd beaten him previously in competition, but an excellent tournament for him, and he manages to bag himself a bronze medal.
Yeah, great achievement for Abdullayev. It's a good run, but ran into the wrong man in Savon, who just couldn't deal with his style, could he? And Savon put a real performance in.
Yeah, kept trying, kept throwing punches, Abdullayev.
Representing Ukraine, Gevorg Manukian.
Manukian was involved in some excellent bouts throughout the competition. His sort of come forward, eye-catching style. Him against Jakubowski in the second round is probably one of the bouts of the championship.
Yeah, definitely a contender, wasn't it? And probably a victim of how good that bout was, because he never seemed to recover physically from that one. And His performances weren't quite the same from then.
Maybe not the size yet to deal with the really big men. He's one of the biggest of them all. Scarred on his face. I wonder if he's scarred by missing out on gold. He takes the silver, he takes it all with fairly good grace too.
Yeah, good sportsmanship from Savon. Obviously, judges, everyone has a different opinion. Under a lot of scrutiny a lot of the time, the judges, they've got a difficult job to do.
وبطل العالم للملاكمة 2015 لوزن 91 كيلوغرام من روسيا.
Gold medalist and 2015 World Boxing Champion of the 91-kilogram heavyweight category, representing the Russian Federation, Evgeny Tishchenko.
Well, Tishchenko's had a terrific run all the way to the final. In 10 years' time, no one will necessarily talk about or care how he did it and how he got that gold medal. That's all to say in the history books. Slice of lady luck on his side this evening as the second Russian gold medalist of the night.
Yeah, he's performed well throughout. He performed well tonight. You know, there was nothing disgraceful about his performance. I preferred Savon in the contest, but Tishchenko's the gold medalist, and like you said, that's all people will remember.
And hopefully they'll bang heads again in Rio next summer. That competition could brew up quite nicely, as for the second time this night, we're going to hear the Russian anthem.
السيدات والسادة اللاعبون الفائزون ببطولة العالم للملاكمة.
So 2 Russian world champions on the night, 2 from Cuba as well. It's that quartet of men's heavyweights show off their medals, and they'll be back again hopefully to do it all again in Rio. Only Tishchenko goes forward. Savon and the others are going to have to find another route to qualify for the summer showpiece. What a night it's been for Russia. Cuba have got 3 more opportunities to do it all again tomorrow, including La Cruz up against Ireland's Joe Ward. Conlon's done it. Can Joe Ward follow in his footsteps?
Well, he's definitely in with as good a chance as anyone else who's been in with La Cruz at this tournament, if not better. Joe Ward is a European champion. He's an absolutely fantastic talent. He can box, he can move. We've also seen him use come forward boxing in the past, which is what it may take to beat La Cruz. It'll be interesting to see what his tactics are, whether he's going to just wait and try and get La Cruz to come to him. But it's an intriguing one.
So that wraps up our business for this evening. But we're serious again tomorrow night when we're going to bring you 5 more finals, as well as those box-offs, with Rio very much in mind. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Plenty more quality boxing coming up from Doha again tomorrow night, same time. Bye for now.
انت قادر في طريق حاجة جميلة افرح واستمتع بسحر كل ليلة لو في حب في الحياة فين المشكلة اللي مش هتقدر عليها والكل حد دمع ومستنيها
Middleweight Championship goes to Cuba and world number 2, Arlen Lopez. Our final bout of the night, the 91-kilogram heavyweight final, pitted the top 2 ranked boxers in the world. The victor, world number 1, Evgeny Tischenko of the Russian Federation. Tomorrow is the final day of these championships and more world champions will be crowned.
السيدات والسادة شكرا لحضوركم على أمل نراكم في يوم غد سعدتم مساء.
AIBA in the World Boxing Championships Doha 2015 would like to thank you for attending this session. Tickets are still available for tomorrow's session. Ladies and gentlemen, have a beautiful evening and please drive safely. Good night, everyone.